Den with Seth.
You got to feel what's inside. Don't let them take you for a fool now. Don't let them take you for a ride.
Welcome to the world, young soul, where untold adventures unfold. When the moon shine and the sun glow, plant seeds and see what grows. Water your garden with wishes and dreams, free like a fish in the sea. But listen to me, not everyone listens to dreams. Some hearts are skipping a beat.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Lion's Den with Seth. I'm one of your hosts today. My name is Seth, and I am here to help you get what you need on this fine Sunday, y'all. This is going to be super dope, y'all. The dope show. But before we go into all of that, right, and before I get it in with Larry and our guests, don't forget, y'all, there's still time to donate if you would like to for the Village. And if y'all don't know, the Village is a nonprofit organization in St. Louis that helps mentor young men to get them where they need to be as far as dress and appearance, communication, and just real good mentorship. The brothers of the Alphas fraternity. And if you guys will still like or interested in giving, if you can look at the bottom, the Cash App is Lions Cast. Make sure you put in parentheses the Village. What we're doing is we're donating board games, y'all. We're getting them all types of board games, cards, Unos, dice, dominoes, everything. You know what I'm talking about? We're trying to get them in nice and early and young, right? So again, don't forget to give them their donations if you're interested. Again, then it is actually the Lions Cast. Okay, again, it's Lions Cast, $ Lions Cast. Make sure you put in the parentheses the Village. Right on. Yo, what's going on, Larry? How you feeling, bro?
Hey, what's up, man? Another wonderful Sunday evening.
Yes. How was your week going? Your weekend?
Hey, man, my weekend was been busy, as I told you backstage, man. A lot of birthday parties this weekend. You know, we had a second flag football game in which we got the W, you know, so that was good. You know, just got back from a TDY. I mean, it's been a crazy, hectic week. And then I didn't realize next Sunday is Mother's Day. I'm like, geez,
bro, how you forget next week is Mother's Day?
And I got my son's birthday on Tuesday, man. I'm just about to be broke come by Friday. So yeah, it's just one of them. Yeah. Busy, man. Like I said, I started my second MBA class, man. Human resource methods, man, and just, you know, first paper do the first. I mean, why you gotta do a paper the first week of class, man? Come on, man. We just introduce ourselves.
Yo, look, it's to get you acclimated to all that shit you're gonna be doing around the corner.
It's good stuff, though, man. Like I told you, I'm looking forward to it. It's, you know, learning about human resource management, the laws and things that guide, and, you know, equal opportunity and all the discriminatory stuff that, you know, it's good stuff. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just feeling like I'm overwhelmed right now, though.
Oh man, you'll be all right, brother. It'll be all right. But listen, though, hey, before we go up into it, too, want to give everybody a shout out. The rest of the den that's not here. We got Foots that's in the background howling at us, holding it down. We got Foots. We got Will overseas getting it in for us. You know what I'm saying? He'll be back in a couple of months. And then we got Herm. He taking care of business with his kids. Hey, birthdays.
I feel him.
I know it's just too much going on, but it's that time. But look, before all that, yo, I do have to give this brother the right introduction, y'all. Listen, if y'all don't know about the famous DJ Jess, I'm just gonna give you a little taint about this brother. And listen, make sure y'all share this, y'all. This is gonna be a super dope show. So, but listen, check it out. DJ Jess is a New Jersey native, right? Who has been DJing since the age of 13. So like beginning of hip hop, right on. DJ has started out acting and hosting before deciding to become a full-time DJ, right, in 2000. So he started his mainstream career at the Apache Film Studio, and has continued to appear at venues around the world and the United States. So he has a fixture of the at the American Black Film Festival for 10 plus years before moving on. And then in 2010, he made history as the first official DJ for Showtime's amateur night at the world famous Apollo Theater in New York City. And that's where I met this brother, y'all. Real talk. I mean, humble dude. And I'm go over quick accolades, right, with this brother, right? He's appeared in HBO Boxing After Dark. He's appeared at Def Comedy Jam All-Star Weekend in Vegas, right? He worked with Cat Williams, Tommy Davis, Mike Epps, Monique, some more. And look, it's crazy. It's crazy what this brother do. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, y'all give my man a warm round of applause. All right, let's get it. DJ Jess, what it is, brother? How you feeling?
I'm blessed, man. I woke up this morning, man. I'm good to be here with you guys.
Yes, man. So, man, look, your resume is deep, brother. Super deep, man. So just tell the den, brother, what it is, who you are, and actually what got you there. What is it that pulled you to where you are today?
I mean, I'm an entertainer. I go by DJ, but I consider myself an entertainer because when I do an event, it's more than just playing music. You know, it's about bringing folks together, unifying them through music. So that's where the entertainment part comes in. What got me started is just the love to see people entertaining people. I mean, I love to entertain folks. And like I said, before I actually became a full-time DJ, I was the hype man. I was the host. So I was always in the mix of making people enjoy themselves and bringing parties to life and events, you know, bringing those folks together at an event. So it was just natural for me to, be in the mix of that atmosphere. One of the things that really kicked me off, as I was saying when I first started, I was actually what people know as the American Black Film Festival American Black Film Festival right now was once the Acapulco Film Festival. That's where it started. And it originated in Acapulco, and I was brought down there as a hype man. And the way I actually got back into DJing was, even though I was doing it, I got down there, and when they first started this, it was only one DJ, and the parties would go from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. And I remember Kurt asking me, you still playing? I'm like, of course. He said, well, look, these some long nights. And at that time, the film fest was like 10, 12 days. We were down there a long time. And he's like, well, look, you play from 9 to about 12, 12:30. And then, I'll come in and play. And I'm like, sure, not thinking much of it. But when I got to play and I saw, all these celebrities rocking out to me, it just did something to me. I'm like, when I get back to the States, I want to play. This is like another level, I mean, I'm watching people who are idols, like just rocking out, and because everything was up in a booth and they're pointing to you. And next thing you know, they want you to do some private events, So that was really like a turning point for me, a turn on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, look, I'll tell you this, brother. When I met you down there at the Apollo, man, and I was just watching you on stage, I'm like, man, this brother is rocking this crowd, brother. I mean, to the point where not only did you have the people that was, in the aisles doing the wobble, y'all, there ain't no room in the aisles, but then he had the people come on the stage, right? It was so dope, so dope. But anyway, bro, let me let Larry get it off with you.
Right, and then talking about rocking the crowd, that's what I'm gonna talk about with this DJ. So talk to us about what goes into, setting a tempo for DJing and rocking a crowd. Is it based off the requesters, like what they like, do not like, or do you gauge it off the crowd? Like, okay, I'm gonna play this kind of music and get the crowd going. And you just like, do you adjust as the crowd, shows the electricity?
Great question. I mean, when I do a party, I'm always prepared, but I never set a set playlist. Basically, what you do is, like you said, you read off the crowd,
right.
And you have your crates there. And as you start to see, the direction of where they want to go, because you're following their lead. And when you see them vibe to a certain song, that's the kind of genre where they are right there. So then, I need to go right here, and you take them on a journey. And even though that you're on that journey, you got them. Once you got them, you can go a little left, a little right. You can kind of sway back because you have them, and they're zoned into having a good time. The key to rocking a party is getting the audience or whoever you're trying to entertain in a zone. Because once folks get into a zone, no matter pretty much where you go with it, as long as it's flowing right, they're going to party with you.
Yeah.
So the first thing you do is you want to lock them in a zone and feel their vibe and let them start to feel your energy.
Yes.
Because when you're partying, it's an exchange of energy. Your energy, my energy. My energy that I give you will set the tone for your heighten of energy, which will feed back to me. So now we're going back and forth with the energy level.
Right.
And that's what I try to do at every event.
Yeah. You know what? It's so funny, man, because I know what it is. And shout out to those out there that's checking in, y'all, and sharing this. But because there's individuals that know about the Lions Den, but they don't know that I also DJ, right? And it is, it's a job, right? And so what happens is people say, yo, you mind DJing for X amount? And then you say, okay, this is my price. They say, well, I only need you for this long to actually play music. First of all, not only am I working, but I'm bringing my stuff. You dig what I'm saying? And whatever you do dealing with the music, microphones, that's still mine. But you said something that made some sense. When you grab the crowd, you have to find out, like you said, that sweet spot. But then what I can't stand, and tell me what you do about this, it's the outliers that say, well, look, why don't you play this song? Knowing it's going to mess up your set, right? Because Bob, now what do you do with that, bro?
Pretty much ignore them, okay? Because the thing about, not trying to be funny, but I mean, I get cats will come up and I got a dance floor of hundreds of folks, thousands of folks rocking out, and he done found him a cutie in the corner that he want to map to, and he want to go to a slow dance, and I'm looking at him like, are you kidding me?
Bro.
But like the good part about now is most of the time when I play, my team's there, so they will answer the question from somebody who's coming to me, so I really don't get interfered with like that anymore. They be like, what do you want? And if it's something reasonable, they'll come and tell me. If it's not, they'll be like, they'll, whatever they do with them, I'm gonna tell you, back in the early days, I'll never forget this. I'm up in Boston and I'm playing, and it was after party after a show I had done with Monique. And we're doing an after party, and next thing I know, I had this guy standing. I mean, we're like toe to toe, and he's like, "So when you're gonna play the reggae?" I'm like, "What the fuck did you? Excuse my friends, where did you come from? How did you get in here?" He said, "You played some reggae, but it wasn't enough." Almost like a threat, So I'm sitting here like, okay, these circumstances have to change now. But it's amazing, man, when people want something, how they want it. So from that point on, I always made sure somebody was like right there, because ain't nobody supposed to be able to just get that close, for certain things. But it's amazing when they want what they want, they want what they want.
Bro, they want it, right? And then listen, they will stand there until they hear they shit. Like they ready.
Let me tell you, this is about 4 years ago. I did a 50th birthday party, and I fitted into the schedule and everything. So everybody at the party having a good time, grooving. So the kid comes up, it's her son. He comes up and he goes, yeah, we need some of this. And, 50 is a mature party, but he wanted some of, I say the earlier hip hop, which is really, to me, it can be kind of ratchet. It can be a lot to the left compared to the party that I'm doing. So I'm like, dude, your moms don't want this type of music. He's like, I'm the one paying you. I'm like,
word?
Yeah. So I'm like, it's not that type of party, and da-da-da. So he went on about his business. He come back, he said, I ain't gonna tell you again, I'm paying. I said, look, this is the second time. I said, you gotta chill out. I said, I'm a man.
I mean, what's going on? Was he a little lit?
When he first came, I mean, he wasn't overly saucy enough not to know he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Trying to. So I look at my dude, I was like, if he comes back one more time, we are out. I said, because in my contract, it states any conditions where it becomes a hazard, we don't rock out anymore, So he came for the third time, and it was probably only about 15 minutes left in the party. But by the time he came in, I'm a little aggravated, because I'm like, dude, now you're like right here. So and my team was like, I was like, no, we're not going to make this an ugly party. We good. And I just quietly turned the music off and said, that was it. And the mother walked. I said, no. I said, your son's been up here 3 times. I said, I know you done seen him. I explained to you the first time. Could you please? I said, it says it. You know, I can't work. I don't want to work like that. I can't say I can't. I have no reason to work like that. You know. So what
happened? I mean, like, yo,
we packed up and we left.
But you still got your bread though.
Oh, I'm paid before I finish.
Yeah, he get that up front.
I don't take any. Nobody pays me before I never get paid after an event. I'm already paid when I'm in the room, because just for situations like that. Right. Because if you don't, then they can withhold your money. Then you got to go back and forth. Before I hit a room, I'm already paid. That's that's the business side of it. Good, you know, my team takes care of that. Good. You know, because like, especially like back in the day when I did a whole lot of weddings, you know, if you would do a wedding, you know, the bride and groom get caught up in the stuff, you know, so sometimes they can filter out and forget, you know, these are all early lessons I learned in the early 2000s. Yeah. You know, so by the time I became really mainstream, you know, my team learned, you know, there's only one way we do business. You know, and it's always great to have a team, because then you don't have to look like the bad guy. You know what I mean? So if you guys are on the team with me and you're my face, Elias my face, you know, they're mad at them and not me. You know, and I learned that because actually before I became in 2010, before I took on the Apollo gig, I used to actually be the manager for Michael K. Williams. And most of you guys know Michael K. Williams. I used to be his personal manager. Michael K. Williams from The Wire, you know. Yeah, I was his personal manager. So like when we were out and we would do appearances, you know, I was the guy that would be like, okay, we got to go. You know, so it would never make him look like, you know, he didn't want to be bothered and stuff, because, you know, it just continues. Like when people come up to you, more people see who you are, and then it just keeps trickling. And next thing you know, there's no end to it, you know. And even though, you know, he loved to get back to the folks and take all the pictures and stuff like that, you know, you are on a schedule. So unfortunately, everybody can't, you know, get what they want.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, question for you. It sounds like you've been DJing for a long time, right? So I want to talk about the advance in technology. So I heard you mention some crates, right? Were you in the 80s scratching and mixing? And then how have you advanced with the, and don't forgive me, I don't know much about DJing, but I know you can stream music and iPods and all that. What was that transition like, going from the crates to whatever they use now?
And then that DDJ, bro, you remember how heavy that mug was?
Yeah. Let me tell you, it's like a whole different world, because back then, not only did you have crates, but you had equipment. Gotcha. So, and as you did it more, you know, you would have to figure out what crates you'd want to do, you know, because like you could end up with 20 crates easily. You know, so you had to figure out what you were going to do that night. So, you know, you had to have a van and you load that up. And I mean, it was what you did. So you didn't really think about it. You know, you made the move. You always had a team because you didn't want to do this by yourself, you know. But like the fast forward, it's amazing how technology is today, because we do some of the biggest parties with the least amount of equipment, but it's so powerful. You know, it's like people be like, that's all you got? And then they'll hear the sound. They're like, wow. You know, it's like, I mean, and I'm an equipment guy. So my guys, and we are always, as my wife would say, buying too much. So, but it's like technology now swings so much. And I'll tell you a quick story. I think it was, I can't remember exactly what it was. And I had already switched over to doing the CDs and the laptop and everything. Okay. So I wasn't out there with crates anymore. And a good friend of mine, Deverick, he said, yo, come help me with a party. And I'm like, I'm off today. You know, you're one of my mentors. I'll come out. Seth, when we got out there, the brother opened the van. He had crates for days. I was hurt, yo. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, I was getting sick, yo. I wanted to call out sick, yo. I'm like, wow. I said, I don't really do, you know, this anymore, you know. And I'm taking them off, and I'm like, Like, I hope anybody watching me. This is different, you know? And I remember doing the party, and the next day I called him. I said, look, we got to have a meeting. I said, dude, you got to get with the time. I said, you do records, but you got to do the records in your house. At least go up to the CD books, you know, because once you went from that, you went to the CD books. You had the physical crates, and I mean, they were like this. And he had the dolly he pulled out the back.
What?
I was like, that's what I said. Wow. You know, and I'm sneaking to make a phone call like, yo, he got crazy, dude. If he was on, he'd tell you the story. He was like, yo, you clowned me. I said, I must say I did, yo. But it was like, yo. But you know, it takes a minute to really get comfortable, because I remember my transition from CDs to a laptop. I had the equipment almost a year and a half or two before I actually started using it.
See, it's a culture shock though, ain't it? You know what I'm talking about? Because
God,
the DDJ, you know what I'm talking about, and then getting it. So how was that transition for you?
It was, like you said, it was scary, because, you know, you're thinking about a laptop crashing on you. You're thinking about all this stuff. But once you did it, it was like, oh my God, what took me so long? So then you spend hours, you know, getting your music game right. Because now everything that you got in these books, you got to get on the laptop, you know, and now you know, between downloading and calling your friends and taking people hard drive and making it happen, it's a process. Yeah. You know, the process now is even a lot easier, you know, but back then, you know, when it was first, you know, with Napster and all that stuff like that, you know, it was a little tougher. You know, because they were threatening you, and they were like, "Yo, if you do this, nigga." So, but now it's the way of today. You know, it is.
And you know, here I want to ask this question too from Foot. Shout out again to Foot. He says, "What are some keys that individuals need to know before getting into the world of DJing?" Because he would always ask me, you know, what? Let me tell you something about Foots though. Shout out to Foots, man. But look, while I'm spinning, he was like, "Yo, Scoop, you got to show me how to DJ." Like right while I'm doing this shit, right? I'm like, "Yo, we got to," you know what I'm saying, and take some time. But you do have those individuals that truly want to get into the game. So what would you say is the most pivotal, not necessarily pivotal point, but the best information you can give them before they actually start?
My best information would be to tell somebody, first thing you got to figure out is, you want to make this a hobby or you want to make this a career. Okay. And if you want to make it a hobby, just have fun with it. Okay. Do it when you can, you know, and just have fun with it. But if you're making it a career, something that you want to do, you got to be ready to lose sleep. Okay. You got to be ready to practice and understand that the best way to practice is by playing a lot. The best way to feel comfortable is by doing events. And this is a process that takes time. Okay. Every once in a while you'll get lucky, you know, and you will go from 0 to 100 like that, but that's not always going to happen. So you got to do a lot of things to get your feet wet. And like I said, you got to do a lot of practice, and you got to, I would tell somebody to, when you're first going out, make your box about that big. And I say your box that big is master a certain genre. Don't go from here to there, from here to there. You know, if you're an R&B person, you know, get that R&B music and master that, or the little hip hop, and then kind of branch out. You know, because you can't go all over the place. Once you master that and you start to feel comfortable, then you can expand, you know, what you start to do, you know, and, you know, just understand that, you know, there are a ton of DJs out there. I mean, so with that said, you know, you're going to have people that are for you, you're going to have people that are against you. You know, build yourself as you go along, you know, attach yourself to some DJs who are willing to let you ride along to see how this ride is going to be, you know, and have them, they're going to do some events, and ask them if you could do maybe 10 or 15 minutes of their event in the very beginning, you know, not to throw you to the wolves, but if you do that little 10, 15, maybe as you build up 30 minutes set in the beginning, you get comfortable, you know, and it goes from there. And then eventually, you'll get your own parties, or create a party that you can play at once you feel comfortable,
Right.
But I think all DJs need to find a mentor to help them, because somebody has to open the smallest of doors for you, so that's where a mentor comes in, and like I said, there are some folks, plenty of DJs out there willing to do that. And then there's some folks that, won't feel like they want to do that for whatever reasons. Me, I have plenty of DJs who shadow me, or will ask me questions or ask me for music. And I'm always open for that because I'm blessed enough that I got a lot of assistance as I was coming up, opening doors for me, and I must admit, once some of the doors were open for me, I kind of like bogarted my way. I'm the type of dude that ain't taking no for an answer. Right. If you invite me to an event or if I'm ready to go somewhere, I'm always thinking how I'm going to make this benefit me even more. I'm never complacent. So wherever I go, whatever I do, at the end of the day, I'm looking to come out of this with more work or ahead of where I was. I never forget, prime example was, I was reading a paper one day, years ago. And I saw where there was a Catholic school, big time Catholic school for basketball was closing, but they were having a fundraiser, for the school to try to keep it open. And, my wheels start spinning and, I call. And I was like, hi, I'm DJ Jess, da, 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 da. I said, hey, you having a fundraiser for the school? She said, yeah. I said, well, I'd like to donate my services. And she was like, well, she said, did you say donate? I was like, yeah, I like to donate my services. And she's like, well, wow, really? Yeah. She said, well, I'll call you back. And probably within a couple of hours, they called me back and they told me, we'd love for you to be here. But what it did for me was there were some of the biggest names in sports in this event. And that got me to rub elbows with them and make connections, So sometimes everything is about the monetary part of it. It's about a connection, but you got to be smart enough to make sure, that you're figuring out how stuff benefits you.
You know what? Hold on, brother. And listen, you said something, you said so many just great words. And it just makes so much sense because I remember when I met you, I was already DJing, but my I guess my circumference of awareness was still small. You see what I'm saying? Because you know how it is when you try to, reach out to certain DJs, some will look out for you and some kind of see you as a threat for no reason. Like, yo, I'm just starting, you dig? But I do want to say, though, I do thank you for allowing me to even be on that stage, brother. And seeing things from your perspective and looking at the damn Apollo. Like I said before, every time I get that reminder on Facebook, like, yo, I have to, this changed my life. And that taught me something very important, that we have the opportunity to help change other people's lives just by doing something that's for free. Like, it costs you nothing to do what you did for me. You get what I'm saying? It costs absolutely nothing. And it has since helped change my life, but other individuals' lives, because now I see what paying it forward looks like. And then also, to your point, it isn't always about the money, but it is about the purpose behind it. You know what I'm saying? And being able to serve, man. So look, y'all, hey, hopefully y'all are digging this and getting these dimes, y'all. We got my man's DJ Jess up in the building. Y'all listen, we got to take a little pause for the cause. Y'all know what it is, right? We got to pay these bills. But if y'all are enjoying this, please make sure y'all share this, okay? Because we are going to get into a little bit of history of the Apollo. Look, you think you know what it is, but you don't. You just watch it like every like once a week or something like that. But it's a history behind it, okay? But we will be right back.
Monique Slater is a top negotiating, award-winning real estate agent in San Antonio, Texas. Her focus is on educating and empowering individuals on building general wealth through homeownership while providing exponential service with integrity and excellence. Although her heart is for serving first-time homeowners and the military community, her clientele ranges from $100,000 to $2.5 million. Monique has developed an awesome team that can get anyone into a home and has sold homes in less than 6 hours. After servicing the Air Force for over 28 years, retired Chief Slater has a massive network so she can connect you with an awesome agent anywhere in the U.S. And if you're in San Antonio or relocating there, give Monique a call first to help you find your dream home. Give Monique a call at 210-237-7268. As a financial literacy coach and credit repair specialist, Tracy Brown teaches people the importance of personal finance and help them identify and dispute negative items in their credit reports. Her services allow individuals to leverage the Fair Credit Report Act to improve their overall credit score and credit history to position themselves for home ownership, lower interest rates, entrepreneurship, and general wealth. Give Tracy Brown a call at 618-560-3687. One more time, 618-560-3687.
One thing we can cherish during these times is family dinners. Think about it, the nice, succulent southern fried chicken, baked beans cooked to perfection, creamy macaroni and cheese, cornbread. You get the point. Come check out Kevlar's Grill, where all the meals are cooked with perfection, professionalism, and love. Located outside the Scott Air Force Base back gate inside the VFW is where you can find them. Also, they have military discount for all of our serving members. Give them a call. Their number is 618-416-5700, and that's inside Scott VFW Post 4183. And they also have Grubhub. Call them now and tell them that the Lions Den sent you. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Seth with the Lions Den. Are you or someone you know looking for a tool to help them be more accountable? Check out the Black Collar Mindset, the Art of Strategic Thinking. It's a manual to help maneuver through life strategically by holding yourself accountable every step of the way. Go to theblackcollarmindset.com to grab your copy today. Again, the website is theblackcollarmindset.com. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Let's get it together. Yo, everybody, welcome back, y'all. We got the world famous DJ Jess up in the building from the Apollo. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Yo. Yeah, y'all, listen here. Yo, he's dropping so much jewels in here. Hopefully, y'all can pick it up and do something with it. But we're about to touch a little bit of this history real smooth. What you got, Larry?
Yeah, let's talk about the Apollo, right? Because I remember we was talking backstage, and I was like, man, I grew up on the Apollo. It was like the prereq before Three Stooges, right? So if I can make it to the Apollo, I knew the Three Stooges was coming on an hour and a half later, right? So, you know, and in Apollo, you got to bring it. So I don't know what it was like for the DJ. I know it was like for the performers, and you know, we didn't get to see commercial breaks, and I'm pretty sure that's probably where you made your money, right?
Yeah.
Entertaining the crowd while they were on, you know, intermission. Talk about what was the what's the pressure? Because I know New York can be hard on anybody when it comes to music, especially DJs. So let's speak to that.
The good part about the Apollo is I started there beforehand because I did several concerts there, so I've been on that stage, but it's a whole different feeling when you're there week after week for a show and you have to entertain folks. The difference with the Apollo is, you know, people don't realize that when you're entertaining them, it's a tourist attraction. So there's people from all over the world. Mm-hmm. So what you're doing is you have to read them really quick. So my first time on the Apollo with Amateur Night, let me tell you, the Butterflies were there. My mind was all over the place because, again, you know, I'm open to the show. So I'm the first thing people see or hear, you know. So when I went out there, you know, I just want to get that first song out. Once you get the first song out, then you start to move along. But to be honest, it actually took me about 2 years to get comfortable. I know that sounds like a long time because we average about 44 shows a year. So you're talking about 80 shows roughly before I got comfortable. And I think the reason it took so long is because I'm a critic of myself. And I kept trying to figure out, you know, what would fit. Because each night is different at the Apollo. So my whole thing was, I was trying to find out what would fit and what would make me comfortable. And I remember riding home with my wife, and and the funny part is, the crowd loves you, but in your mind, there's something missing, or I could do this, or I could do that. And one day it just hit me that personally, I felt like I was trying to do too much in the time allotted for my sets. So once I learned how to do what I do within the time that was allotted for all my sets, it made a world of difference. I stopped beating myself up and understand to just enjoy the crowd the way they were enjoying me. So it made a world of difference, but I can't say the same for, acts that go up there. Cause I mean, the Apollo could be a brutal spot for.
Bruh, listen, I saw that. What? Woo! Oh, bro. Hey, listen, let me tell you something about New York, y'all. If nobody ever been, listen, they don't give a damn. Look, if it ain't right, it ain't right. They gonna let you know you ain't. Now, wait, didn't see the Sandman. Didn't see the Sandman, but when it took something for the crowd to kind of change and sway their emotions. You know what I'm talking about? It take a lot.
Funny part about that is, like, you would rather for somebody to stare at you when you ain't doing that good as opposed to start booing and doing this. Once they do that, it's just a matter of time before the siren comes on and CP comes out, because now, our execution is CP Lacey.
Right.
And once you see CP come out, sometimes it's so crazy because the act will still be singing and not realize he's standing behind them. And they're like, and they're doing all this. And, me and CP talk a lot, and we're laughing because, we get to see a lot before the show goes on. So you can kind of get an idea who's going to make it. This ain't going to be good, so you get all that. So between us and, all the stage hands, everybody can see this coming. Because you'll get the list, because we get our list, and say, okay, in the second half, the first act is about to go in. This is not going to be good. And man, we see it with no fans, no guests in the seat. But once we got this sold out show and they start going in, and then you have to go back down. You have to go downstairs to the green room, and you just sit there for a second, because it's like they're just sitting there amongst the folks who got through it and the ones that are about to go, and, I don't care how much somebody comforts you and say, yo, don't worry about it. That hurts.
And then that big ass screen, so everybody was watching you. You know what I'm talking about? They were watching you, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, but listen, talk about, and shout out to Foots again. And I know the world has a question about the log. You want to tell them what that really is? Just that log that everybody touch.
It's called a tree of hope. Okay, and the tree of hope is actually a tree, because the original tree came from the original Lafayette Theater, where it first started, before they moved to the actual Apollo. And they actually cut that tree down in 1934 and brought it around, and it became the Tree of Hope. And it's a tree that everybody, before they go on stage, has to rub for good luck. And you actually get some people who will walk out there, forget to rub it, and they stop everything, make them go back, because it's just like it's signature, And it's been there since 1934, when the Apollo first started Amateur Night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the Apollo used to actually be a stand-up theater, without seats, when it first started. And one of the first persons to win the Apollo was Ella Fitzgerald.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she was the first winner of the Apollo, Ella Fitzgerald. Then you have, there's been, the crazy part is, everybody who is somebody has performed, whether they're African-American, white folks, they come there and they're in awe of the theater. People don't realize that Luther was booed at the Apollo. He booed off the stage. But the one thing I must say about Luther is Luther was booed off in a group. He wasn't solo. Mm-hmm. He was in a group, and his group got booed off. But Luther vowed never to come back. He was hurt. And what people don't realize is Luther actually at the age of about 14 or 15, used to give out flyers in front of the Apollo. He worked for the Apollo giving out flyers for shows. Yeah. Yeah. Him and Billy Mitchell used to do that. Billy Mitchell, he's still there. He's called Mr. Apollo. And he actually presented an award at this latest Grammys.
Wow.
Yeah, Mr. Mitchell. I mean, if you want like history, if you ever come to ask him for a tour, Billy will give you a tour. I mean, Billy is, I call him the Apollo because he started out hanging out in the back because there's a playground in the back now, but it used to be apartments because there's a school there. And his aunt lived there, and he had to go down there to get some from his aunt. And he was waiting for her to come. And one of the guys who worked at the Apollo came and was like, "Hey, kid, you want to make some money?" And Billy got nervous because, make some money could mean anything. But he was like, nah, not like that. He said, "You want to run to the store, do errands for, all the acts that come through here?" And he's like, "Sure." And Billy became, the running man at first. He ran and got people like James Brown, Marvin Gaye, and all them, any actor came through there, whatever they needed, And the funny thing is Billy wasn't doing too good in school. And James Brown asked him to see his report card. And when Billy wasn't doing that good, he said, "You can't come back here until you do good." Wow. So that made him change his whole act. And James Brown and Marvin Gaye actually paid for him to go to college.
Word.
Yeah, and Mr. Mitchell now is like on top of the world. He is, and he's the most humblest, generous person that you want to meet, till this day, and that's what I want to be. I never want to get bigger than what I'm doing. Absolutely. And he does, So, I mean, the history in the Apollo just goes on and on. I mean, it's amazing to watch superstars come to the Apollo. And Apollo has, from the main dressing rooms downstairs to 5th floor dressing rooms. And they could give you the 5th floor dressing room and you're still happy because that's the ambiance of that theater. I never forget sitting stage left with Aretha Franklin just before she was about to perform. And, she's sitting there, she's talking to a manager, and she's like, how many times she's been there, she's just still so ready to do this. Same thing with Lionel Richie. When these folks come back, they love the Apollo.
Man, you know what? Let me tell you something, Jess, and shout out to everything that you've done and even the things that you've seen, man. But whose phone is that? Is that yours, Larry?
That's probably me, man.
Oh, that's your phone.
Yeah, let me.
Not me, man.
Yeah, I'm like, who is this jingle jangling all over the day?
That's my ring, yeah. No, that was me.
No, but look, hey, shout out to what Lily Wilson said. She was like, "Hey, they got to sing church songs so they don't get booed off, right?" Hey, listen, as soon as they start singing about Jesus,
they ain't gonna boo them. They like,
and that is so funny, man. Because Capone, they'll tease them. They're like, "Yeah, he sung that gospel song." Because I've seen people singing, and then they'll kind of be like, "Never could have made it." Like, where'd that come from? They switch up quickly or they don't get booed off.
Because they ain't want to get booed.
Yeah. But the craziest part too is I've been blessed enough to do, gospel concerts with Yolanda Adams, Hezekiah, Donald Lawrence, and all those cats. And I mean, a gospel concert, the energy in there, I set the tone with the three, but then when they come out, even though I'm part of the show, I'm a fan. I'm like, feel like I'm like buying this ticket because I got a front row seat, and that's one of the blessings. I mean, like some of the stuff that I've been blessed to do, I just had to pinch myself because, the people that, I'm on the bill with is just like, wow.
Right. You know what? And that's something else too I want to talk to you about, man, because you actually gave me the opportunity to have that experience when we were in the hallway. I don't know if of course you remember this because you remember all types of shit. So we was in a hallway and I'm looking around, I'm seeing all these names on the wall, right? Like, I'm like, wait a minute, this is Jackson 5s. I've seen Curtis Blow. I saw Bill Clinton name. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Rock, yeah, everybody.
Right. And then so you got a pen for me, like a marker, and say, don't let anyone tell you you don't belong. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm about to put my name on this wall, bro. Like, I would never forget that. But if you don't mind, what do you think about telling, or what would you tell individuals as far as finding their space, right? To make sure that they are where they need to be. What would you say to them?
I mean, it's a commitment. You know, you won't find your space unless you're committed to what you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. You know, to me, getting your full potential means that you're going to go all in. And when you go all in, that means that you're not scared to fail, okay? Because you're reaching for something that, you know, maybe a handful of people will actually get. But at least you can say that you went for it. So never be scared to reach for whatever you're going for. You know, and then that'll start the ball rolling towards where you can actually really go, you know, because no one can determine how successful you are, you know, because success doesn't mean that you're doing some of the things I've done. Success means that you're happy with how you're doing it and where you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? So don't like, I always tell people, you know, don't try to set expectations or goals that are too far. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You just try to stay consistent, okay? Give people a reason to reach out to you, you know, do things that people will take notice to, and just keep going. And what's meant for you will come your way. You can't control what's not meant for you. You know, people ask me, you know, well, don't you want to do this or do that? I would love to, but I'm not going to harp on it because I've been blessed already, you know, and what's meant for me, I'm getting. Mm-hmm. I can't do everything. I'm not trying to do everything, but I do want to stay consistent, you know, with entertaining folks. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dope. What you got, Larry?
Hey, I got a question about, or not a question, but I want you to chime in on the career opportunities that come with DJing, right? So you have satellite radio, commercial radio, you got wedding events, movies, special TV events. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And you spoke about being able to, you know, master one genre of music, but also I would chime in is you can master one, but being able to, if you want to be a reputable name in this business, you got to expand across multiple genres of music, right? So I know Seth used to DJ for the Marines, all right? And you think about the Marines. I don't know if hip hop is probably their primary music, right? So I'm just throwing it out there, but I'm just saying across the audience, if you want to really, you know, build upon your DJing experience, how important is it to be able to, you know, be able to navigate through your audience?
It's very important. I mean, when I said do one genre, that's just to make you comfortable. Right. Okay. There's nothing or nowhere I can't play. I mean, I walk in some places sometime and I'm the only black guy in there, and they're wondering who hired me and how did I get here, you know? And then I wind up doing the event, and you know, so much more work comes behind that, you know. So you definitely, if you don't want to be in a box as you grow, learn to play everything. And the thing you have to do is, you know, first of all, you got to know when you cross over to another genre, what's in that genre, you know, and then when you find out what is in that genre, okay, when you're in your lab, wherever you play at, you know, you have to start to master that, you know, and you can master that by going to, one thing that I did a lot early was go to events just to be in the crowd to see what moved the crowd. You know, it could be the corniest party, but I'm in there because I'm trying to do my homework, you know, and it's one thing to listen to what's popping on the radio. It's another thing to see what people are grooving to in person. So if I'm in this, say it's all white event or all Jamaican event, if I'm in there and this song pops, I need to know this song pops. So when I need to start a party or if I need to take a party to another level, I know what does that. You know, and again, I tell people all the time, you know, with today, where technology is today, build your crates. And in those crates, they should be labeled what they do, you know. So not trying to figure out where you're going. You know where you're going. And if you open a crate and it has 500 songs in there, you have 500 choices that you know that work. You know, so that's all about preparing yourself, and definitely, you know, don't limit yourself, because I know some of the greatest DJs, you know, out here, but they only play a certain type of music. So they're not getting called on other stuff, you know, or when they get called on other stuff, you know, they'll hit me up and ask me, can I do a set of this or that? Mm-hmm. You know, because they just don't want to do it, or they're not capable of doing it, you know, and I never want to be the one who can't do anything, you know. I mean, now you be able to speak your language, I'm gonna play your music.
Right.
You know, and that's where I'm at.
And no, that makes a lot of sense. And for those of you that don't understand what he means as far as the crates, especially in the digital world, you have files, right? So
right, exactly.
when you hit your files, you can name or title your files like twerking music. That's what I got. I got twerking, and then I got line dance, right? Then I got you get what I'm saying? Ballroom dancing. So it's a way that, like you said, you go out, you do your homework, like, okay, boom, I see what the people are doing as they're moving. I need that because I want that hot set. Hey, but look, shout out to Chief Slay. She asked a question, brother. She says, how has the pandemic affected your work?
The pandemic paused my work, but it made me better. Because what it gave me a chance to not only regroup and go through everything I had going on and kind of put things in order, because my schedule is crazy. And I got a great team. Shout out to DJ Jess, who holds me down, you know, but it was nice to take a pause to actually have a lot of meetings, you know, through Zoom and telephone calls to like just get caught up on a lot of major stuff. But what the pandemic did was it allowed me to reinvent some things. And one of the things I reinvented was I was on radio, and I remember them, well, actually myself, I was like, I really don't want to go into the station right now. I want to do my show from home. So we agreed upon that. But when I was home, every DJ that you can think of was online. And while everybody was online, you know, they were kind of playing type of the same thing. So I kind of paused the radio and said I wanted to do something different. So what I did was I created what is now known as the Grown Folks Lounge. And I took the genre from a lot of up-tempo stuff to making it more like a quiet storm type thing, quiet mellow music at night, but taking it back to all the classics. And it was amazing. I would sometimes go on at 10 o'clock, and we would stay on to 2 or 3 in the morning. And even when I was ready to sign off, people were like, don't go, because we had nothing but time. And that went on for months, you know. And then I remember that stuff started to quietly open up in a little past summer. Excuse me. I wasn't able to do it as much. But then in the fall, I said, I got to get back, because people were asking me, yo, when we going to do this? When we going to do it? Because they got hooked, and I got hooked. And around November, I started to be able to play a little bit more with that. And then I created a page for it. And then lo and behold, the page sat there for a few months. But in January, New Year, I said, I got to launch this page. And I launched the page, and that was like January 4th. And I never forget, I mean, it took off like a wildfire. And now it's known as Grown Folks Lounge 2020. And nice. We are like 35,000 plus members. And it's a musical site that just allows me to take people on a musical journey. I added what is called the Gospel Lounge on Sunday. So we go to church every Sunday that I'm here at 12 noon, you know, so we can praise the man up above, because he has blessed so many of us to still be here, you know. Mm-hmm. So I was able to reinvent, restructure some stuff, and it helped me, you know, it really did. You know, everybody needs a pause, but, you know, unless something makes you pause, you're not going to pause. So, you know, I took advantage of it, you know.
Dope. That's super dope, man. Well, look, man. Hey, so I know you do so many things, brother. I know you do so many things out there. And look, you got your people chiming in. You know, they probably buzzing you right now. I know. And look, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all watching this still, make sure y'all look in the comments. Make sure that y'all, if y'all digging this show, you go and make sure that you give this a review, yo, because we got DJ Jess in here, man. But look, somebody asked a question, and real quick, what is it that keeps you humble?
My team, okay, my wife, my kids, I mean, and my mom's. Bless my mom's up in heaven. She's no longer with us, but can I tell 2 quick stories real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I lost my mom in October 2019, unfortunately. But about a year and a half before that, my brother, unfortunately, my older brother passed away, and it hit my mother really hard. I'd never seen my mother in so much pain in my life. And, you know, my mother and my brother were like this. And that was because they lived on top of each other and they ran a business together. So my mother and my brother were extremely close. I mean, me and my other brothers were good, but they were like 2 peas in a pot. And when my mother saw my brother, because I was in the hospital, my brother passed me and my mother was there along my wife. It was so unreal because they were trying to bring my brother back and my mother passed out and they were working on her on one end and working my brother on the other end. Of course, my mother was okay. But like I said, I never seen my mother so hurt. And my mission was to make sure my mother was okay. So I decided to bring my mother pretty much into everything I was doing so she wouldn't be alone and she wouldn't think about my brother too much. So she traveled with me. She was everywhere. And I never forget, just before she passed away, she came to a show at the Apollo. And my wife brought her on stage during the intermission, and she's up there, she's dancing, having a good time. And my mother, as long as she's ever seen me play, she's never asked me for a kiss on stage. She's like, give me a kiss. And I'm looking at my mother like I'm doing a show, but okay, I kiss my mother. And she had such a look of how proud she was, you know, that will forever stick with me. And I was good after that. You know, I was so good, you know, and, you know, just between her and my wife and my kids, they just, you know, they treat me just like I'm a normal person. Like I'm a husband, I'm a father, you know. And I think it took them a little while to understand, you know, it'd be funny because we'd be out and about and, you know, people would stop and talk to me and they call me the mayor because, you know, I'm humble to talk to everybody. But when they first started, they would be there. Next thing you know, I'd have to catch up to them, you know, but it's a family thing that keeps me humble. And I understand that as quick as it is here today, it could be gone tomorrow, you know, because you don't block your blessings by being rude to folks, you know. So kudos to my family because they definitely are my rock.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, so look, final word. Hey, Larry, what you got, brother?
Hey, man, I'm going to hit you with this. So in 2 years, I hit my 40th birthday, right? And what I would envision is like a 90s theme party with hip hop music and R&B, but I want to take it back to the 60s and bring it all the way up to the 90s because I think that's just the best genre of music, right? Self don't know this, but I'm pinging him to be the DJ, right?
Damn.
So when I take that, what my point with all of this is that I pay homage to you guys for what you do. You have an ear to music. Your intellect to move the audience is pivotal to being the life of the party. And I pray that you guys keep mentoring the young folks that keep coming up to keep this going, to make sure that they understand the importance of music in general, because it speaks to the soul. I don't think we really truly understand that. And some of us, like her, think we're playlist masters. We just put a playlist together. That's not it. Like it takes, like you said, doing your homework and being able to expand upon just the whatever genre you master, but being able to be multitask. I think that's pivotal. So I thank you for what you do. I thank you for the history lesson and appreciate you for coming on to the show and sharing your knowledge.
Thank you for having me, Larry. I appreciate you for having me.
Yeah. So what you got for the people, Jess, man? I want to give you the opportunity, man, to tell them anything, how they can find you, brother. Anything you want to say to your team, anything, brother. You got the floor.
Thank you. I mean, you can find me also on all social media sites at Apollo_DJ Jess, or you can visit my fan page at Apollo's own DJ Jess. I have so many events. I'm blessed. if you're in the tri-state area, next Sunday at Aruga's in North Plainfield, which is 1250 Route 22, that whole weekend, me and my great partner, Marlon Randolph from Team Back to the Essence, will have 4 big shows up there, 5, 7:30, 10 p.m. and a Mother's Day matinee at 4. So come on up there. You can catch me at the Stress Factory on Mother's Day at 1, and then I'll head over to Aruga's. And just follow me. I got great things. I got winery parties coming up. I got old school parties I've been invited to do. I have something I do all summer, which is comedy and cigars, where I bring the comics along with some of the greatest cigar vendors. You know, we usually have getaways, to different islands, but this year we postponed it till next year, so it's really safe for everybody. But just follow me. I have great things, and when Apollo opens up, I daily walk out to the street and give away tickets to the Apollo to random folks, okay? Because I love giving back. So, you know, if you're in the tri-state area, look me up and come on out to something. I'd love to have you as my guest. And to Seth and Larry, coming on your show and being a part of this, I wish you guys all the best. You know, if any way, you know, I can assist you moving forward, you know how I am. I love to give back and paying forward to assist you guys and make this show to another level, which is already on a great level. I'm all open for that. Thank you, guests, for tuning in and listening to my story. And hey, you guys, sky's the limit. Keep reaching for it.
Man, my man. Look, ladies and gentlemen.
Can I get one shout out? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
I got to shout out one of my comedy mentors, Mr. D.L. Hughley. D.L. put me down. Yeah. And I've been rolling with him for about the last 5 years. He is I've worked for so many super comedians, but DL is like my all-time favorite because it's such a family affair. And to break onto his team, I want to pay kudos to him. So thank you. I apologize for interrupting you.
No doubt, man. And as a matter of fact, I would love to have both of you back on. You know what I mean? I think that'd be dope, man. Come on in. If there's something that he'd be interested in, man, it's always enough.
I'll talk to him
in the den. You know what I mean?
I'll definitely reach out to him. Him and I'm gonna try to bring a good personal friend of mine, Tommy Davidson, on your show as well. Tommy loves to do it.
Come on now. Bring him on. Look, he got the connections. Bring him on.
Connections. You know what,
I'll definitely do that.
Hey, but look, shout out though, seriously, to you, Jess, man. I'll never forget the things that you've done for me personally and for everybody else, man. And just the fact that you have such a caring heart is not many out there, right? And with everything that's going on in the world, it's dope to have individuals like you to keep the party going. You feel me? So, but look, shout out everybody that's out there, y'all. Hey, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, y'all. Look, we're not gonna have a show next week because you know, we gotta take time for the mamas. You understand what I'm saying? They got a busy job dealing with these damn kids and this virtual learning. You get what I'm saying? So we got to take time for them. But listen, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all for being on. So not next week, but catch us the week after that. Right on.
Right on.